It's all uphill. Ooh, that was soft. Hi, welcome back. It's been a long day out riding in the desert, of course. I'm out by, where am I? Nevada 447. This huge valley in front of me, believe it or not, is called the Winnemucca Lake. It's dried lake bed. This used to be a wildlife refuge, reserve, one of those. I think Roosevelt originally set this up, and at one point this was 80 feet deep. At some point somebody obviously redirected the water, and this whole thing basically dried out. This whole entire valley used to be a massive lake, so it was for bird migration coming, of course. They diverted the water. Now it's just a dry lake bed. Gets a little bit of water in there, and a couple inches every a little bit here and there, but not like it used to be. And it got pulled off of the register. So I think a lot of Americans probably don't know that there is, in the past, there's actually been national parks in these refuge, and they were made and then they were pulled off, so they're no longer around. And this is one of them. There's not a lot of history on it, of course. So the original plan was going to come out and try to ride around the whole entire lake, come up on the road, 440 Nevada 447, and it's a massive ride. It's through the desert. It's not a really good road along the mountain range. Over here, there's a mining district about halfway through on the other side of this dried lake bed. Old mining area, so you could go and look in some of that, but it's still a little too wet. It rained and snowed way too much, so there's spots here and there. So I ended up riding the opposite direction today, and it's been a challenge this winter. It's either really snowy where I want to ride or extremely muddy. And so the original I was supposed to ride in a different location, But when I went out there, it's too muddy and you can't ride it. So I'm back out here. This seems to be a pretty good area. It's got a lot of sand on the road, so it helps dry out fairly quickly. Tired. But yeah, so not bad. Beautiful day. As soon as that sun goes down, I'm going to have to kick on the heater. I'm in the van. I'll be in the van tonight. And like everybody else, I'm just waiting for the weather to get better. I'll start bike packing here again soon, but in between, I'm just have to use the van and day rides. And right now I'm tweaking the bike. I've got a few adjustments I'm working on. I'll go over that in a few minutes, but just another nice day out here. So part of this trip was I was just out trying some new things. I went to a little wider handlebars. I've been messing around with these universal derailleur hangers. I thought for some reason that these were all the same, and they're not. They look the same, but the thread pitch is different on the inside. So how this all started was I wanted to ride. I have an old trainer, a 1-up trainer, and I went with the Robert Axle project, and they make all different types of axles. So you can purchase one of these and put it on your bike, and then because these stick out further, you can run this on an older style trainer. So mine, this is off the Lightspeed. This is a 1.5 pitch. I didn't know that at the time. I called them and they gave me the specs. Normally some of these have writing on it, this one doesn't. So I ended up getting this, and this all worked out fine for me. And then, like I said, they had some of these on sale, so I figured, hey, why not? I'll buy one or two. And they were supposed to be stiffer to help with shifting. So I purchased a couple of these, and lo and behold, this is a 1.0 thread pitch. So I ended up getting a different axle to make this all work, and I've switched everything over, and I'm trying to streamline all this. And if I would have had it done this before, I should have just bought another one of these from the factory, but I didn't know the pitch was 1.5. And the pitch on these, the thread pitch, there's 1.0, 1.25, 1.5, 17.5. So they're not all perfect. And I think the good thing about this whole thing is when I did all this is I picked up one of these SRAM, and this is a 1.0 thread pitch, of course. I threw this in my bag assuming this was going to work, and luckily by doing this whole thing I found out that even if I would have snapped this, I would have been stuck because this wouldn't have worked. So yeah, just going through a couple things, just trying to streamline a few. And like I said, this one's 1.0. This is one from Robert Axle project. This is a 1.0. The SRAM's 1.0, and my original one was a 1.5. So now I can throw some of these in the bag, not a big deal. And the other thing I was working on is I have a GoPro 12, and that is a GoPro macro lens. It's supposed to go on the GoPro 13. And yeah, I made it work. So I pulled it off. There's like a little metal tab in there. I had to pull the back out and ground that down to make it work. And it's heavy, like you can tell. So we'll see how the video comes out today from using this. I didn't want to go to a 13 yet. I just feel like that I'm waiting for them to maybe put a better chip in, so it'll night for filming is going to be a little bit better. And so I just took the chance to see if this would work, and it does work, but there is some learning curve to it. I put a little color in here so you could adjust, where this is going to go. And I think a normal GoPro is like 12 inches. Anything under that 12 inches, it blurs out. And then this was designed to work up from like 4 inches, I think, out to like 36 inches. But you can put this on and run this all the way out, and it just runs like a standard lens. And the difference between this, trying to do it this way, and the 13 is definitely going to be a lot better. Of course, it's got software in there, and it's got like a color on the video what you're doing, so it actually helps you figure out how far and how to adjust this so everything actually is perfect. It's a learning curve. You have to like kind of use a tape measure and use a lot to kind of figure this out. But anybody's curious, yeah, you can make this work with a little bit of work. And like I said, I think I don't know, I'll probably wait till the 14 comes out, but I was just seeing if I could get this to work another season for me. And what I was talking about is pretty simple in here. Is there's like a little metal tab, so I took those 4 screws out. They're Torx. Pull this off, ground that down. cleaned everything up, and then put it back in. And the difference between the 12 and the 13 is the 13's got a different metal ring, and I tried to see if I could find one of those and I couldn't. So that was the next step, is just grind that out. And I figured if it didn't work, not too bad. But so far it works, but I'm always constantly cleaning it like a normal camera lens. So, and with this extra weight on here, I mean, it's making the camera pretty heavy. So yeah, just trying a couple things, just trying to improve a few things and experiment and see how things go, and that's about it. So for dinner tonight, it's going to be really simple. It's a freeze-dried meal, peak refuel, venison country casserole. I'm going to modify a little bit, add a few things, some green onions, some other stuff, and that will be dinner for tonight. Sun's starting to settle. It's about that time, so I'll start getting ready to settle in the van. It is cold out here. The wind's blowing behind my back. It's going to be a cold one in the desert. So with that, I'll see you in the next one.